On the flight back home, I came across a trending question on a popular website. He and I are in an ambiguous relationship. We talk about everything, but he already has a girlfriend. Should I pursue my own happiness? The comments were full of people advising her to give up, but she was unwilling to accept that. Replied to every single comment. I have a master's degree from a top-tier university, definitely better than his girlfriend's education. His girlfriend went abroad for college. Normally, people here only study overseas if they can't get into a good domestic university. His close friends have never seen a single picture of his girlfriend, and he has never posted about her. I'm pretty decent looking. I even get compliments from strangers on the street. Plus, our heights match really well. He said his girlfriend is a quiet and obedient type. Probably dull and uninteresting, because he always praises me for being fun. To convince everyone, she shared even more ambiguous interactions and photos of them together. Even though it was just a side profile, I instantly recognized the person in the photo. It was William. The day I left, I threw away the matching rings he gave me. A friend couldn't help but try to comfort me. Maybe William never actually crossed the line. I shook my head, but he allowed someone else to cross it. From that moment on, how the snow falls is no longer my concern. I remain the evergreen that stands unwavering on this mountain. Chapter 1. This time, I didn't tell William the first was coming back. I wanted to surprise him for the new year. When I pulled my suitcase into the university gymnasium, it was halftime in a basketball game. The cheers from the court were deafening. William walked off the court, and a girl excitedly hopped over to him, holding 2 drinks. In my left hand is our favorite drink, and in my right is the healthiest bottled water. Which one do you want? William effortlessly took the drink from her hand and twisted it open. I'll take water. Here. I opened this one for you. The girl pursed her lips and nodded happily. The students in front of me were all whispering about them. I really didn't expect Selena to win over William. So that's what people mean when they say the bold ones get to enjoy the world first. Yeah. I witnessed firsthand how a girl chasing a guy is as easy as tearing through thin paper. At first, William wanted nothing to do with her, but now he's the one opening bottles for her. Exactly. Last semester, Selena accidentally broke someone's petri dish, and the whole lab was furious. It was William who stayed up several nights to fix the issue for her. They're both in the same lab. One's the leader, one's the assistant, spending so much time together. It's no surprise if they developed feelings. Last semester, growing feelings over time. Just as I was processing those words, my phone vibrated. It was an update on that trending post. Guys, I seriously can't resist a guy who's dead tired from playing a basketball match but still takes the time to open a bottle for me during halftime. A comment quickly appeared beneath it. Then why don't you just ask him straight up after the game? If he really likes you, he'll definitely be willing to break up with his girlfriend. Selena liked that comment. Not long after, William's team won by a huge margin. As the crowd scattered, I stood at a corner where I could hear their conversation clearly. The entire second half was just William scoring points. Guess drinking Selena's water really did the trick. What nonsense are you talking about? If you don't shut up, I swear I'll smack you. Selena playfully raised her hand as if she were annoyed. Geez, you're making it sound like I'm his girlfriend or something. She said it while staring directly at William, as if waiting for his reaction. Oh, come on. You two should just go around and tell people you're just friends and see if anyone believes you. Last semester's petri dish. This semester's research paper. Last week when you burned your hand with hot water. Last night when you finished the experiment and went out for barbecue. Tell me, Selena, when was the last time you needed help and didn't call William? And when was the last time he didn't show up? Doesn't William have a girlfriend? Someone finally voiced the question. The basketball court fell into silence. My fists clenched involuntarily. My breathing became uneven. The ring on my finger dug painfully into my skin. He does. It was William's voice, a bit subdued. I remembered how his voice was always soft and warm when he spoke to me, except that one time, when my phone was off and I missed all his calls. He got anxious, got upset. His voice sounded just like it did now. But I still let out a breath of relief. Maybe things weren't as bad as I had imagined. Oh, come on. We've never even seen a picture of her. Selena, don't believe him. He just loves to put on an act. I really do have a girlfriend. We just keep things low-key. I still want to live a normal life. You know? Before anyone could process that sentence, Selena had already blurted out. So, does that mean there's really no chance for us? I told her when we first got together, unless she breaks up with me, we'll be together for life. William pulled on his jacket, pretending to be casual. Selena, you're such an amazing girl. You deserve someone even better. But that's not fair to you. What if you meet someone who suits you better? Wouldn't you be missing out just because of her? Selena was practically crying as she said those words, her voice full of grievance and reluctance. I don't know how long it was before I finally heard William's reply. He said, "Then it just means the right person came too late." The right person came too late? I squeezed my eyes shut, but the tears still fell uncontrollably. Then what does that make me? The one who came early and got lucky? Some words don't hold up under scrutiny. The more you think about them, the more humiliating they become. I remembered back in our third year, when William spent 2 years' worth of scholarship money just to fly across the world and spend Christmas with me. After the long flight and endless layovers, he looked utterly exhausted, but he still stubbornly stood at my university gates, waiting for me to finish class. I want to be the first thing you see, and I want to see you first, too. We spent the evening cooking together in my tiny rented apartment. He held me close and whispered how he wished he had a magic door like Doraemon's, so he could visit me anytime, anywhere. As the first snowflake fell outside, he slipped a ring onto my finger, the ring he had worked tirelessly to afford. His eyes, full of warmth and devotion, locked onto mine. Sabrina, they say love is ever-changing, and I think they're right, because every second, I love you more. But when did our relationship become an obstacle to him finding the right person? I didn't know if I should hurl my ring at his face and scream at him, or just walk away without even bothering to break up in person. But I knew this, William and I were truly over. The moment he allowed other women to leave their mark in our relationship. The moment he told another girl, the right person just came too late. Love fades faster than the seasons change, faster than the autumn leaves falling from the trees. I slipped off the ring and tossed it into the artificial lake outside the gym. Chapter 2. Winter was bleak and lifeless. Love evaporated silently, without warning, without reason. I dragged my suitcase along the road aimlessly. Right next to Hangzhou University was the high school where William and I had studied. Through the iron fence, I saw a boy and a girl in school uniforms standing out against the tree-lined path. It suddenly reminded me of that night 6 years ago, our graduation night. I had been walking down the same road, earphones in, letting the evening breeze carry my thoughts to all the regrets I had from high school. Regrets about things left undone. Regrets about people I thought I'd never see again. Sabrina, the voice that had haunted my thoughts suddenly called out from behind me. It was William. I often wonder, if I kept following you in silence, would you ever turn around and look at me? I froze, hesitantly pulling out one earphone, unable to believe what I had just heard. What? William suddenly laughed. I said, "I like you." I was afraid that if I didn't say it now, I'd never get another chance. The sound of cicadas buzzed in my ears, blending with the looping melody of summertime, and in his smiling eyes, I saw only my own reflection. That afternoon in our first year of high school, the sunlight had been particularly golden. It illuminated everything, including my heart, which raced without warning. The boy I had just been mourning as a regret of my past was now standing before me, telling me he liked me. I couldn't explain why I liked him, just as I couldn't explain why he liked me. Maybe it was because, during our freshman year's military training, when he got heat stroke, I, as the temporary class monitor, sat quietly with him in the infirmary all afternoon. Maybe it was because, when he was wrongly accused of stealing money from his desk mate, I was the only one in the whole class who believed in him without hesitation. Maybe it was because, when some guys from the vocational school came looking for trouble, I grabbed his sleeve and ran with him through alley after alley. Countless fragments of memories played in my mind like old film reels. But I'm about to go abroad. I hesitated. Even though I had taken the college entrance exam, my plans to study overseas had long been finalized. I know, he said, but I'll work hard. Wherever you go, I'll find a way to follow. 18-year-old William, afraid I wouldn't believe him, raised his right hand and swore, "From now on, every plan in my life will revolve around Sabrina. Wherever she wants to go, I'll go with her." From that moment on, I began to look forward to the summer breeze, to William in the summer, and to becoming William's summer. The day before I flew back home, the internship office was as lively as ever. The central air conditioning hummed softly, and colleagues passing by would stop to chat about their future career plans. I smiled and said that no matter what, I would return to City C even if it meant selling lotus powder on the streets, because William was waiting for me there. At that time, I hadn't realized the summer of 18 had long since been abandoned, and there was no one waiting for me anymore. Chapter 3. I found a cafe and opened the profile of the person who had made the post. It was a collection of every little moment between them. I scrolled down, one post at a time. Some were written updates. Others were screenshots of their conversations. December 20th, 2023, update. His research is really intense lately, so I've taken charge of bringing him lunch. I actually cook it myself, and he eats happily every time. They say the way to a man's heart is through his stomach, and I think I've got this in the bag. November 13th, 2023, update. I deliberately told him my birthday was a week earlier than it actually is, just to see if he'd make me a little gift himself. I heard the ring he wears was handmade, probably matching with his girlfriend's. Ugh, annoying. But at least he made something for me too, even though it's just a bracelet. October 3rd, 2023, update. He didn't even go visit his girlfriend during the entire National Day holiday. We spent the whole break in the lab together. Sometimes he even calls me Selena. I wish time could freeze at this moment. I feel like I'm getting closer and closer to winning him over. What more can I do to make him completely devoted to me? September 26th, 2023, update. Finally reunited with my soon-to-be boyfriend. Our relationship is nothing like it was a year ago. Now we even share how many cups of water we drink in a day. Sometimes we secretly sneak out for meals together. Hee hee. September 3rd, 2023, update. The weather was nice today, so we went to the most famous temple for relationship blessings. He said he wouldn't make a wish for himself, but he'd pray for my wishes to come true. I think he already knows who I want to end up with. If only he wasn't stuck with that clingy girlfriend of his. July 20th, 2023, update. I was planning to find an excuse to make him stay on campus over the summer, but his girlfriend came back. Does anyone have any ideas on how to make him break up with her on his own? Help me out here. Beneath this post, strangers on the internet were already trying to track me down. Didn't you see the homewrecker mentioned the original girlfriend is in M country? A city has received the signal. Let's hope our overseas friends pick this up too. Send this abroad. Not domestically. I had to read this 4 times, and I'm fuming. It's reached overseas. H country has received the message. M country friends, it's up to you now. F country checking in. M country sisters, prepare yourselves. M country reporting. Someone find the original girlfriend and tell her to break up with him ASAP. I had witnessed, with my own eyes, how William gradually erased his own boundaries. At first, he would deflect all her academic questions to the professor, but in the end, he was responding to every single one of her emojis. Selena wasn't even from City C, yet William had taken her to all the hidden breakfast spots in the old neighborhoods. She mentioned wanting to see the campus where William studied, so they strolled down that tree-lined path over and over again. They went cycling by the lake, visited temples to wish for good fortune, and even hiked mountains together. I instinctively covered my mouth, trying to hold back my sobs, but the sadness still fell from my eyes. Drop by drop, a new update appeared on her profile. Afternoon isn't the best time to confess, so I lied and told him I had a stomachache. Now he's helping me back to the lab. I'll try to create some subtle physical contact. Just the two of us alone, it should be easier to say what's on my mind, right? I know it's hopeless, but I'm still going for it. That's how sincere I am. The attached screenshot showed William replying with a pat on the head emoji and a message saying he'd stay with her. The comments were ruthless. Seriously? Subtle physical contact? You have no shame. You know what? I actually hope you succeed. A cheater and a homewrecker deserve each other. May you live happily ever after. The official girlfriend must have had the worst luck in the world. And I know it's hopeless? Yeah, because he's taken. I picked up my phone with eerie calmness and dialed the number I knew by heart. William picked up quickly. Sabrina? What's wrong? His voice was still as gentle as ever, laced with the same tone he used to coax me like a child. I just landed at the airport. Can you come pick me up? You're back? Why didn't you tell me earlier? In the background, I heard a faint whimper. It was deliberate. Selena. Sabrina. I'm still at the lab. I'll book a car for you, okay? I'll come find you later. Please be careful on the way, all right? Send me your location every 2 minutes. I hung up without another word. So, he needed to worry about another girl's well-being, while also worrying about my safety? William, do you think you can handle that? New messages popped up on my screen. Sabrina, are you mad? I'm coming to get you right now. Please don't be angry, even if my boss chews me out tomorrow. I have to pick you up today. I wiped the tears off my screen and typed back. Don't bother. And from now on, you never need to bother again. Sabrina at 24 would not stand in the same place forever. Chapter 4. My phone vibrated. It was a message from Selena. Since I had just called William, it must have made it much easier for her to get in touch with me. She got straight to the point, as if she was completely certain of my identity. Do you like William? I found it laughable. If I don't like my own boyfriend, then who else would I like? I like him more than you. I would throw away my dignity for him. Would you? I replied. Do you really think having no self-respect is something to be proud of? Does ruining someone else's relationship make you feel powerful? Do you even have the guts to say these words to your own parents? A flood of curses and insults filled my screen. At the same time, Selena started updating her profile again, posting screenshots of supposed high school classmates talking about me. They claimed that I had paid my way into a prestigious high school and later went abroad to a diploma mill because my grades were too poor. In the chat, they mocked me, saying I was both academically weak and socially reckless, echoing each other and tearing me down to nothing. But through it all, she didn't even know my full name. When William came to find me, his gaze was still filled with the same kind of unspoken poetry as before. Are you mad? It's my fault. It won't happen again, okay? I was still holding my phone, the screen frozen on the latest update from her post. Now comes the real battle. His girlfriend is back. Tonight, I got some juniors to organize a gathering to celebrate our basketball victory. He's the star player. He has to come. Someone in the comments seemed confused. Wait, his girlfriend just got back, and you're dragging him out in the middle of the night? What for? Selena's reply was confident and self-righteous. Nothing much. I just don't want them sleeping together. Sleeping together? She sure had a vivid imagination, but William and I had already agreed that those things would wait until after we got married. A moment later, William started checking his phone more frequently, replying to messages one after another. The other person must have been growing impatient because they finally just called. William turned slightly away as he answered, keeping his response short and direct. Okay, got it. Suddenly, I remembered last year's New Year's Eve countdown. In the final seconds before midnight, he had taken a call, under the sky full of fireworks. The way he turned away to answer that call had a bigger curve than the one he used when he hugged me. These unconscious body movements often spoke more truth than words ever could. Silent, but impossible to ignore. By the time I snapped out of my thoughts, William had already hung up. He asked gently, Sabrina, what do you feel like eating? Let's grab a bite first. Then I'll stop by the gathering for a bit. What kind of gathering? Can I come? I already knew there was no need to drag this out, but I still wanted to give him a chance, to not just believe someone else's words, but to give William the opportunity to prove himself, and to give myself a chance to see the truth so I could let go completely. For a brief moment, William's eyes wavered. He probably didn't even realize it himself. Well, it's just a bunch of people you don't know. I don't want you to feel out of place. Besides, if you show up, how am I supposed to keep a low profile? Won't you be worried when your live stream comments start flooding with my name? He playfully ruffled my hair. I'll give you one last chance. Are you sure you want to go? Yes. I didn't hesitate. Chapter 5. The restaurant they had chosen was right at the entrance of the university. The owner was standing at the door, handling payments. When he saw William, he greeted him with a warm smile. William, you're here. How come you didn't bring Selena today? Before William could respond, the owner caught sight of me walking in behind him. His expression stiffened for a brief moment before a look of realization dawned on his face. Oh, switched girlfriends already? You young people sure are impatient. I didn't catch the rest of what he said. William had immediately leaned in close, whispering explanations into my ear. saying that the owner just loved making jokes. I smiled and asked him, "Does he joke with everyone? Or do you deny it every time? Only for him to keep making the same joke the next time? How boring." William's face froze for a moment before quickly returning to normal. "Now that he's seen you, he won't make this joke again next time." I didn't say anything. I simply lowered my head and walked beside him. Before we even reached the private room, loud voices could already be heard from inside. "Why are we opening so many bottles? Trying to get William drunk? Oh, don't even start. These drinks are for Selena. Tonight's the night she finally seals the deal. William already said he has a girlfriend. Maybe watch what you say. Come on, don't kill the vibe. We haven't even seen a single picture. Who knows if this girlfriend even exists? As far as I'm concerned, Selena is the only one who counts." William pushed open the door, his hand moving with a hint of unease. "Enough. Stop joking like that. Dafeng. If other people hear it, it won't look good." He reached for my hand and pulled me forward. "Why do you need a picture? I brought her here in person. This is my girlfriend, Sabrina." The lively room instantly fell silent. Every gaze turned toward me. For the first time, I saw Selena, the girl who had been posting everything online. She sat there, her expression dark, her stare at me full of dissatisfaction. Shit, he actually has a girlfriend? What about Selena then? I thought it was just a matter of time before they got together. Having a girlfriend and still getting so close to another girl? If it were my boyfriend, I'd have broken up with him already. The guy named Dafeng glanced at Selena before grinning and saying, "So this is the girlfriend William's been hiding for so long? She looks plainer than I expected." I curled my lips into a smile and didn't bother being polite. "And you're Williams Jr.? You look poorer than I expected. The hell is wrong with you?" He shot up like he'd been personally insulted just from that one sentence. "I can tell you don't deserve William at all." I chuckled. "I was just giving you a taste of your own medicine. You see a girl, and the first thing you do is judge her looks. So why does it bother you if I judge your wallet?" Selena's face turned red with anger. She stood up and pulled Dafeng behind her. "William, you know how Dafeng is. He's always been like this. But your girlfriend, she's being way too harsh." I turned to look at the person whose name had just been called. The person who, back when a speeding car had lost control, had instinctively pushed me out of the way. The person who, upon waking up in the hospital, had asked if I was hurt before anything else. William opened his mouth but only managed a forced smile. "They've had a bit to drink. They're just talking nonsense. Don't take it to heart." The others quickly tried to smooth things over. Yeah, we're just celebrating the win. Don't take it seriously, okay? Sabrina? Come on, grab a chair for Sabrina. She must be hungry by now." William pulled me toward an empty seat. "Didn't you say you haven't had home-style stir-fry in a long time? You have to give it a proper try tonight." His seat was positioned right between me and Selena. And my seat? It was the one they had hastily added at the last minute. The dinner was anything but pleasant. Selena barely spoke. She just silently downed 3 bottles of beer. No one could persuade her to stop. As we were about to leave, she clung to William's sleeve, refusing to let go. "Take me home." "I want to go home." One of the guys reached out to help, but Dafeng stopped him. "You still don't get it? When Selena's drunk, no one can touch her. She only trusts William. There's no other way." "William, you'll have to take her back yourself." William frowned and glanced at Selena before looking at me. "Sabrina, let's take her back to campus first, okay?" I paused for a moment, then shook my head. "I'm really tired today. My stomach's not feeling great either. I'd rather go home." "Then William, you're so mean." Selena's voice was laced with hiccups, her sobs relentless. "Dafeng is our best friend, and you won't even help him. You're so mean." "I want to go home. I want to go home. William, take me home." She was crying so hard she could barely breathe. Looking utterly miserable, William let out a soft sigh and gave me a helpless look. "Sabrina, will you be okay on your own? Would I be okay? Would I be okay walking alone tonight? Would I be okay walking the road ahead without him?" The answer was obvious. I watched as everyone walked toward the door, watched as William led Selena into a car. Just as he was about to leave, he suddenly turned around and asked, "Sabrina, where's your ring?" I replied calmly, "I lost it." His expression stiffened slightly, but he quickly forced a smile. "You're still so careless. I'll buy you another one in a few days. Exactly like the old one. But oh, William, the ring wasn't lost. I threw it away. And in this world, no two rings will ever be exactly the same." As the car door closed, my phone lit up. "Who do you think will sleep with William first?" I looked up at the rearview mirror and saw William's reflection, heading in the opposite direction from me. This love that was once filled with promise had finally come to its tragic end. Chapter 6. The afternoon sunlight was gentle, carrying a faint warmth. My phone kept vibrating beside me. Yet another unknown number flashing on the screen. I had lost count of how many unfamiliar calls I had ignored. Ever since that night, after I blocked William and returned to my grandfather's house in the countryside, the calls had been relentless. For the first few days after coming back, my mind was consumed with self-doubt. Where was I not good enough? In what way was I inferior to that girl? I tried to find something, anything, that made me better than her, hoping it would bring back my confidence. But no matter how I searched, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was lacking, that I was the worst person in the world, even though I knew, rationally, that none of this was my fault. No matter how I tried to pull myself out of it, I couldn't escape these thoughts. I hadn't realized before how a single betrayal could plant such deep-seated insecurity in someone else. That night, an algorithm decided to push a newly updated post onto my feed. I couldn't resist clicking on it. "Everyone, I've finally done it. The clouds have parted, and the moon is shining through. They're finally breaking up. No matter what. If you love someone, don't give up." The comments were sparse, as if people didn't know what to say about the outcome of this story. Selena had long grown used to the criticism. She continued updating her post. "I want to make it clear today, I am simply fighting for my own happiness, our happiness. He told me himself that I have more warmth than his girlfriend, that I know how to be vulnerable, that I am more like him. He could never become someone like her, but I'm different. He and I are the same kind of people. And honestly, I think his girlfriend might be a bit of a gold digger." That night at dinner, she outright said one of our friends looked poor. Seriously, what kind of person says that? As expected, the comment section became lively. Honestly, all three of them seem kind of terrible. I've been reading this for half an hour, and I feel like none of them are good people. Maybe they should all just stay together forever. She said that to someone's face? Sounds like she has no social awareness. No wonder she got cheated on. I sent her a message. "Are you willing to take responsibility for every word you've said?" 3 minutes later, Selena replied, "We're both women. Believe me, I was already holding back. If you met her in person, you'd hate her even more. She's the type that's been spoiled by men all her life, playing around since she was a teenager. Not to mention, she's been abroad for years. The winter wind in City C was piercingly cold." That night, I sat in the courtyard for a long time, so long that my grandfather, who had already gone to bed, eventually came outside to sit with me until dawn. Back in the day, when I was choosing a wife, your great-grandmother was the most dissatisfied with my choice. Your grandmother had never gone to school and couldn't read. She wasn't as pretty as the other candidates, and her family wasn't well off either. But I was set on her. I even secretly paid a fortune teller to lie to your great-grandmother, saying that our birth charts were the perfect match. I was surprised, but Grandma's handwriting is beautiful. How could she have been illiterate? Grandfather took a sip of tea, looking pleased with himself. That's because I taught her every stroke myself. Grandmother's handwriting was elegant, but grandfather's was even better. But if so many people were better than her, why did you choose Grandma? Grandfather stared at me for a while before suddenly chuckling. "Aw, you're still young. When you truly love someone, how could you bear to compare them with anyone else? Love isn't something you weigh and measure. Love isn't meant to be compared." I sat there in silence for a long time, unable to snap out of it. From the moment I found out I had been betrayed, I had been desperately trying to figure out where I had lost. But in the end, love had never been about winning or losing. Listen to your grandfather. Go get some sleep when life feels unbearable. If you can sleep, you'll make it through. Chapter 7. The afternoon sun was gentle, carrying a faint warmth. My phone kept vibrating beside me, yet another unknown number flashing on the screen. Ever since that night, after I blocked William and returned to my grandfather's house in the countryside, the calls had been relentless. That morning, A study abroad vlogger named Ari Life, who had 4 million followers, posted a new vlog across all social media platforms. The title, "A Mistake Made with Full Awareness is Not a Mistake, It's a Choice." The video wove together the timeline of my relationship with William, along with every one of Selena's posts and the messages she had sent me. Last year, when William was nearly hit by a car on the streets of New York, he sighed in relief upon realizing I was unharmed, yet at the same time, he messaged Selena, telling her that he had almost been in an accident, on nights when he stayed up helping me with my thesis. It didn't stop him from comforting Selena, who had sent him a teary uwu message after waking up from a nightmare, when he shared photos of the maple-lined streets of Nanture with me. Just 1 inch to the right in the frame was Selena, the one accompanying him on that trip. At the temple where he prayed for my safety, he wore a charm bracelet, one that Selena had just bought for him. By the time I woke up, Selena's posts had already been deleted. But of course, people had long since taken screenshots. The comment section was exploding. Holy shit. All this time I had no idea they messed with my favorite vlogger. Selena's a liar, low grades, wild lifestyle, and a fake university abroad? She really just makes things up. Huh? Has anyone considered the possibility that the homewrecker didn't even know whose relationship she was wrecking? I mean, sure, you can say people go abroad because they didn't get into a domestic university. But this girl? She doesn't seem like someone with bad grades. Replying to the comment above, I can confirm, Ari Life was my senior. Her entrance exam scores weren't just good enough for C University. Another comment stood out. Look, I call random girls pretty out of politeness, but if someone's truly stunning, I don't dare to stop them on the street. If people are calling you beautiful, you should know what level that really means. Trash men, trash women, they all deserve to rot together. Some classmates from Williams University chimed in, too. Confirmed, these two are real. I see the cheating couple in class together every day. Don't let them off the hook. William showed up at my grandfather's house, which surprised me. After all, I had come here specifically because I didn't want to see him. He stood at the door, eyes bloodshot, looking like he hadn't slept in days. Sabrina, next time before you get mad, can you at least talk to me first? There was even a trace of irritation in his voice. I found it funny. William, you should know better than anyone what happened. What exactly do I need to talk to you about? Was Selena's post not detailed enough? Or was there something wrong with my video's timeline? It's not what you think, he said quickly. Selena, sometimes she just doesn't have a sense of boundaries. I cut him off. William, you were in a relationship. She might not have had boundaries. But what about you? If you truly valued this relationship, if you truly valued me, then how did you manage to repeatedly put yourself in situations where you risked losing me? Not just once. His voice weakened. Okay. It's my fault. It's all my fault. I shouldn't have accepted her kindness. I shouldn't have let her have any false hopes. I swear, from now on, she and I will be nothing more than classmates. But Sabrina, she's just an ordinary person. Like me, it hasn't been easy for her to get to where she is. Please don't let your anger ruin her life. At that moment, I couldn't tell if he was here to make amends or to plead on Selena's behalf. People. I swallowed the lump in my throat and spoke slowly. William, when she thought I was just an ordinary person, did she show me any mercy? Did she hold back when she threw filth at me? When she unleashed endless insults? When strangers piled on accusations? When your so-called friends humiliated me? William swayed slightly, his voice carrying a note of pleading. She crossed the line this time. I'll apologize to you on her behalf. On her behalf? I let out a small laugh and nodded. You may be apologizing, but I don't plan on accepting your apology. It was only then that he seemed to realize something. He looked up abruptly. Sabrina, you're really breaking up with me? We've already broken up. Selena had always asked William questions with an expectant okay. At the end, let's have dinner together, okay? Let's go to the library this weekend, okay? My mom set me up on a blind date. Can you pretend to be my boyfriend and help me out, okay? And every time, without exception, William had said okay. Maybe the first time, he felt too awkward to refuse. But the second time? That was a choice. I closed the door. I didn't look at William again. Chapter 8. The post continued gaining traction, and Selena came to me, pretending to be pitiful, offering an apology, But I hesitated for only 3 minutes before she lost patience and revealed her true colors. A flood of messages followed, one after another. She cursed me, wishing me a miserable fate, dragging even my family into her insults. Whatever trace of guilt I might have felt completely vanished. Some people, it seemed, truly needed someone like me to teach them a lesson. William no longer brought up Selena. Instead, he started showing up at my grandfather's house every morning, bringing my favorite breakfast from the city. He would take the earliest bus, deliver the food to the doorstep, and then rush back to school for his classes. In the afternoons, if he didn't have class, he would come back to the village and sit by the bridge for hours, staying until the last bus left. Grandfather often watched him and shook his head. Young people these days treat love like collecting seashells on the beach. They see something new and shiny, so they throw away the one in their hand. But when they turn back, they realize the first one was the best all along. Too bad, by then, they have no idea where they threw it. It wasn't until the neighbor's grandson refused to eat the breakfast William brought anymore that I finally spoke to him. How about this? Go find the ring I lost first. I think I dropped it outside the gym that night after your basketball game. If you find it, consider it returned to you. If you don't bother coming to find me again. For the first time in days, William's dull, lifeless eyes lit up. He nodded firmly. I'll find it. I swear I'll find it. He took off running toward the bus stop, looking back at me with a bright, eager smile. The streetlights flickered on, one after another. For a split second, I saw the boy from years ago, standing under the dim lights of the school track, grinning at me like he used to. 18-year-old William was telling me, never forgive the man he had become. I later heard that when William returned to campus, he pulled up the security footage. He watched in silence as I walked into the gym with my suitcase and then left looking utterly defeated. His face darkened. Then, when the footage showed me taking off my ring and tossing it into the lake, he suddenly bolted out of the security room. People said William spent hours in the freezing lake, searching for that ring. He ended up bedridden with a high fever for days. Selena kept coming to him with a thermos full of hot tea, but he threw both her and the thermos out, unwilling to accept this. She started a new post. Newbie question, what should I do if the person I love is still hung up on their first love? Within 5 minutes, the comments section was flooded with mockery. Oh, it's you again, homewrecker. Do you even realize what a joke you are? You were just a plaything to pass the time. Of course, you don't get a say in whether he moves on from his first love. Wait, is she forgetting to switch accounts? Did she just expose herself? LOL. She deleted all her posts and thought she could start fresh. Sis, you are comedy gold. Please don't quit the internet. Whenever I'm sad, I check your comments section and feel instantly better. William never found the ring. If he had continued watching the surveillance footage, he would have seen the maintenance crew cleaning out the lake that very afternoon, and I had already returned to school, preparing for the next chapter of my studies. Whether he found that ring or not, it no longer had anything to do with me. Every now and then, I still saw a familiar figure outside the school gates, but I never ran toward him again. Chapter 9. 2 years later, I returned to my high school as an honored graduate to give a speech. The 2 classmates who accompanied me knew bits and pieces of my history with William. There was still a trace of regret in their eyes. Even the dean used to say you two were a golden couple. Who would have thought? William really turned out to be such a disappointment. I've said it 1,000 times, men are only loyal when they're framed and hung on a wall. Time was truly a wonderful thing. It took a name that once made my heart race when I first heard it, filled me with happiness the next time, and later left me with endless regret, until now, when I could hear it with complete indifference. I smiled lightly. It's been so long, I had almost forgotten. Yet you two still remember. One of them, who followed my social media closely, looked at me with curiosity. Sabrina. Everyone in the comments keeps saying that your videos have a second person behind the camera now. You used to film everything yourself. As I stepped outside the school gates, I saw Tom standing under the shade of a tree not far away, his expression a little dark. I glanced at the 2 girls who had just walked past and immediately understood. The moment he saw me, he broke into a bright, sun-like grin. Jia, you promised to take me to see the most beautiful university in City C. You wouldn't go back on your word, would you? I sighed helplessly and nodded. All right, I'll take you now. From the moment we stepped through Hangzhou University's gates, Tom never stopped talking. Jijia skipped studying at such a beautiful school. It must be fate tying us together instead. Good thing this school didn't manage to keep you. Or else where would I have met you? I must be the luckiest person alive. Don't you think? When I didn't reply, he suddenly huffed and stood in front of me, blocking my path. Sabrina, why aren't you responding? Am I no longer amusing to you? I frowned slightly, confused. I rarely respond to your rambling anyway. I could respond to others sentence by sentence, but Tom talked too much. I simply couldn't keep up. The little puppy in front of me suddenly grabbed my hand, intertwining his fingers with mine, holding on carefully. I know this place holds bad memories for you, but I want you to forget them. I want you to remember only the memories we create together here. Looking at his red-rimmed eyes and the serious expression on his face, I couldn't help but reach out and pat his head. All right, I promise you. Chapter 10. We wandered through almost the entire campus, eventually ending up near the research labs. Tom needed to use the restroom, so I waited outside. The noise coming from the entrance of the building grew louder. It seemed that some students were in the middle of an argument. As I got closer, I realized it was a dispute over academic fraud. Even if Selena stole my data, the fact remains that your research used those stolen results, and now that your results can't be replicated, how do you expect us to believe you didn't know? Exactly. You have no integrity as a person, and now, even your research is unreliable. We should go straight to Professor Zhang. Let him handle this. It was almost laughable how coincidental this was. Even on a casual visit, I still managed to run into an old acquaintance. I had only been standing there for a few seconds when William, as if sensing something, suddenly looked up in my direction. For a moment, his expression stiffened. Then, with the same conviction as the day he was falsely accused of stealing in high school, he spoke in a firm voice. I did not commit fraud, nor did I steal anyone's data. His eyes held an unwavering belief, not that the people around him would trust him, but that I would. I turned around and walked away, stepping onto the tree-lined path we had once walked together. Sabrina, don't go! William rushed after me. You don't believe me either? I took a few steps back, putting distance between us, completely ignoring the wounded look in his eyes. Your situation has nothing to do with me anymore. Belief or disbelief, it's no longer relevant. William opened his mouth, his emotions suddenly spiraling out of control. Sabrina, you can't do this to me just because of a single moment of distraction. You're taking away everything we had. You're just trying to get back at me, aren't you? I know I was wrong. Don't sentence me to death. I know I was wrong. Just come back to me. I couldn't listen anymore. William, I've never played with my own feelings, and no one is worth me using love as a game. When I said we were over, I meant it, and we've been over for a long time. His voice was thick with regret, his tone utterly defeated. But, you promised to always stand by my side, to always believe in me unconditionally. We were with each other for so long, from the best days of 18, seeing the complete lack of emotion in my eyes. William couldn't continue. I let out a quiet sigh and finally answered him. Feelings from youth can stay in our memories for a long time, but that doesn't mean I will love you forever. Besides, I already have a boyfriend. I had long since moved on, and I had long since stopped standing in place. The cycle of sorrow must always have an ending, and it will never come too late. William wanted to say something else, but a voice from behind interrupted him. Sabrina, aren't we going to see your grandfather? Let's go. It was Tom. I had never seen him like this before. His normally playful demeanor was gone. His voice carried a sharp edge of authority, a kind of pressure that was hard to ignore. For the first time, he truly had the air of a young master from a city's elite circles. I jogged over to his side, and he instinctively took my hand, fingers curling around mine as he led me toward the school gates. Behind us, William stood frozen, head bowed in loneliness. If anyone had looked closer, they might have seen the tears streaking down his face. But no one cared. The hardest roads aren't blocked by mountains or rivers. They're blocked by the fickleness of human nature. When a relationship has truly run its course, all that's left is relief. May you never fade, may you continue to bloom anew.